Hey guys, Ponce here. It's been a while since I've made one of these, a Path of Exile build video. In this one, we'll be examining Crackling Lance, the new skill which was just introduced with the Heist League, which came out just a few days ago. So just to show you what the skill does, for those of you not familiar, creates a wide arc of electricity, good kind of AoE skill, and slowly the more you cast it, it gets narrower and narrower until it turns into a beam, which just does more damage. So kind of an interesting mix between a big AoE clear skill and single targeting the crap out of certain things. Because it does quite a bit of damage if you set it up a certain way. At least at this stage in the game. Now, it's not a channeled spell. It looks kind of like one, but you just kind of cast it over and over again. So it builds up these stacks here, intensity. And so the more intensity builds up, the stronger the move is. It goes from 0 to 3. There's a way to get it slightly higher, but let's not talk about that now. And when you move around or dash, it goes down. If you warp or teleport or something, it'll just reset you back down to 0 stacks. But generally speaking, the idea behind this skill is you turn yourself into a stationary, almost kind of like a railgun turret thing, and unload lots of damage. So low mobility, which is obviously risky in a game like Path of Exile, especially if you're doing hardcore like I am here. But thought I'd try something. Well, I guess it's not really that different. I play a lot of builds sort of like this, but. Yeah, so I'm just going to go give it a quick test spin, show you what it looks like fighting stuff. I'm in Act 4, so it's fairly early on. I know it's not like an endgame finish build, just so people are clear. I just kind of want to show you guys what's happening with the build, and I'm doing the video now because it's finally started to come together for me, at least personally, Act 4. You might be able to get it working even earlier. I'm a, not Templar, Inquisitor, so I can also have stack up stationary stuff with, what's it called, Consecrated Ground. You can see it around my guy. On top of that, I also use Sigil of Power, so I can just do this, plunk myself down, and then everything just dies around.
Death to sin!
I was having a lot of mana issues up until I got Consecrated Ground, so yeah, now actually I regenerate a bit too much mana. But I'm sort of future-proof for when I finally get a 5 link. I'm currently using this dinky little 4 link here. But now, what am I linking with it, and how does it work with... let's go somewhere safe.
I must have time to gather my will.
So what am I using with it, and how does it function with certain other gems? Currently, I'm just using Lightning Pen, Conk Effect, and Faster Casting, because this is a weird skill. It seems like it's not actually affected by... area of effect. It's not as far as I can tell. It might, but it just kind of, given the graphical representation, it doesn't seem to change too much. So I'm just taking Conk Effect on there, and it's still hitting everything no problem. And lastly, we have Faster Casting, because, well, I just want to be casting faster in order to stack up the intensity as quickly as possible. Right now I'm just using a Rock Golem for leveling, or Stone Golem. I think eventually I'm going to swap over to a Lightning Golem, but that's not important. Now, some other interesting skills it works with. As far as I am aware, it does stack with the Intensify support. They just go off the same stack. The tooltips don't actually update the damage as the stacks go up. Excuse me, give me a sip of water. I've been talking too much. I'm just coming off the end of a long stream, so I guess it wasn't long, it was short, but I was streaming. So where was I? Oh yeah, so let me show you guys something. None of the tooltips, neither here nor in this thing. I know these are super unreliable, so, there's no surprise here. But as you can see, I'm currently just sitting on whatever DPS. That obviously gets pushed up by my buffs past 3k or something, but it doesn't matter. So as you can see, I'm going to max intensity here, and the damage number doesn't change. It's still like 1800. Goes down, back up again. So conversely, I can put this on here. As you can see, 1, 2, still 3 stacks. And the DPS, well, actually it went down because I took something off, I suppose. But as you can see, it's 1500, move around, it's still 1500. I think these stack. I am not 100% certain, but I have kind of done some rudimentary DPS tests versus mobs, and it definitely seems like when I add in intensity, it is doing more damage. I just don't really have the slots for it right now, so I'll test more with it in the future. Sorry I can't provide you guys a definitive answer, but it seems like from what I've read in my testing that it does indeed stack, and you get a lot of extra damage. Another interesting thing you can use is Spell Echo. So we'll just put that there. As you can see, it'll cast twice. So I'm clicking once, it'll cast twice. But it's still only giving 1 intensity stack per thing. So, bop, bop, but still only 1 intensity stack. So for that reason, I'm just preferring Faster Cast because, I mean, it's faster to do that. Not a lot of point to get Spell Echo going if it's not giving you double things. I mean, eventually you get double beams and stuff. So if I have more slots, maybe it's a thing I might think about. But that's what we're working with for now. All right, so that is some skill gem interaction. There's obviously a lot more stuff you could be using, theoretically. I'm not going into any kind of math stuff like right now. I'm just showing you what I have access to at the moment. Now, in terms of the skill tree, quick glance. I'll put it in the description below, a rough idea of what I'm kind of looking for. I just threw it together right before I built this character. So this is not mathematically perfect. This is just, especially this is just a general leveling thing. But the thing I'm going to put in the description will give you a rough idea of what I'm looking to do in the long run. Things can be moved around slightly. This is a bit of an unusual league for me. Normally I math things out quite hard and plan stuff out. The day before I started playing, like at midnight or something, I was sitting there going, I want to play Path of Exile. Next morning I woke up and I just made this build. So it's the rough idea. I think is pretty good and solid, but and it's relatively basic as well. But yeah, so it was getting a lot of hit point nodes. I'm probably going to get some more stuff around there. Is anything noteworthy here? I mean, I got a lightning thing there for extra damage, I guess. Eventually, I was talking about extra stacks and intensity. I'm going to like go over here past the witch area and eventually get that. But that's generally the main idea. It kind of like gets a bunch of basic Templar stuff with a bit of excessive mana regeneration right now. Because like I said, early on, man, this thing was mana hungry. I only just now solved the problem with them again, Consecrated Ground. And yeah, it just kind of goes over there. It'll get stuff along the way. Again, if you're interested in what roughly I'm looking to do in the long run, there's a link in the description below for the skill or the build thing I'm doing. So yeah, as I said, it's nothing too crazy and weird. I've done better, more sophisticated whatever builds, but seems solid. It's, you know, it's built tanky. It deals good damage. It's very stationary. So again, in Path of Exile, that can be very, very dangerous. And certain enemy types and bosses, you know, it's very much discouraged. But we'll end it on. I can't really think of too much else to talk about at the moment. Bear in mind, we're still in Act 4 here. But let's just maybe, I don't know, shoot some stuff real quick. We'll just reset the instance. Well, let's get a big mob of stuff. And regeneration's decent on this setup as well here. So, man, no one's spawning. Come on. Now, you guys are all too weak. You're just gonna die immediately. Okay, let's just, I don't know, shoot stuff.
I must have
Obviously, so like putting this down really improves the damage. I'll show you guys the listed DPS, I guess. Like the most I can get is that. So yeah, we're reaching 3k. Again, I know that means nothing because that DPS number is whatever, but it's nice to see large numbers, right? Yeah, so again, that's it for this build. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll probably keep streaming this a little bit. If I come up with anything else interesting to do, or there's big developments on this character, or I find out it's actually crap, a little bit down the line, you know, maybe we can do some follow-up videos or something. But that's it for me. Thanks for hanging out, and goodbye.